I know I said I was going to do Wajda, but something came up. A beautiful little slice of fangirl, gay girl perfection that I have to talk about. And really, I can only very loosely justify this as a feminist thing, but I don't care. I love it too much, and I just need to squee, okay? San Junipero is the 4th episode of the 3rd season of the anthology series Black Mirror. Written by Charlie Brooker, Black Mirror takes a dystopian look at technology and how it affects us. Charlie Brooker's style is sci-fi realism, like magical realism, where most of the world is the same, but with one dramatic technological difference. The show is usually terrifying. Charlie Brooker usually shows us how technology brings out our worst selves.
Not that Brooker's a Luddite, far from it. Charlie Brooker started out in video games journalism, amongst other things, and is a self-professed lover of technology. But what he wants to show us in these gorgeously shot hour-long dramas is how human beings are affected by the technology they create and what it says about us. National Anthem looks at the way 24-hour news and apps like Twitter have affected both journalism and how governments respond to it. Be Right Back not only demonstrates that your social media footprint is not a true representation of you, but is also a searingly beautiful and, to my mind, true portrayal of grief. And the Christmas special. Oh, the Christmas special.
So, San Junipero was different. If you haven't seen it, then I'm about to spoil everything. If you have even the slightest inkling that you might want to watch it, go watch it. If you're a troll and you saw the words "women loving women" and have no intention of watching the show, you should definitely still go and watch it, but free will and whatever. The technology part of the plot doesn't really come in until about the 20-minute mark.
Starting off in an uber-80s setting, Kelly is a carefree, confident party girl, and Yorkie is the most adorable nerd girl in town. Yorkie struggles to flirt, and really it's mostly just Kelly flirting at her until she works up the courage to do something about it.
And it gets a bit difficult to explain, so just read the description here while I wait.
Ooh, baby, do you know what that's worth? Ooh, heaven is a place on earth. They say in heaven, love comes first.
Why do I love this episode so much? And for a reason other than squee that can be justified as part of feminist analysis? Well, it's a story of two women, feminist tick 1, who are in love, feminist tick 2, and LGBT tick. I mean, it's not that unusual, but I still appreciate women-loving women stories being out there, and this is a good one. It's well written with two distinct, well-rounded characters from very different backgrounds. The episode is only an hour long, and yet a lot of character is packed into it. Thirdly, one of them is bi, and very open about it. That's also not too unusual, at least in the media I consume, but it's still good to see that it's not doubted at all. It's not a big deal. She's not unsure of herself. She's just like, yeah, I like lady humans and man humans. But the really important thing is just how well defined their characters are. Outside of the digital San Junipero, they're both elderly women close to death. They've had a lot of experience which informs their characters, and that makes them different from each other. There's a gap in their understanding. Kelly had a husband for 49 years and a daughter who died. She has no intention of making a full transition to San Junipero after death, so sees no point starting a long-term relationship there. For Yorkie, on the other hand, since the day she came out, she's been quadriplegic, never had a relationship, and had her strongly religious family controlling her life. San Junipero is a second chance at living for her, and she wants to make the most of it. Once you know that, reflecting back on the story, every moment they spend together seems so much more. This is the first time Yorkie has ever been able to be herself and enjoy being in love. Every touch is new, every kiss is special. You can see her changing over the course of the story too, carrying herself more confidently, more comfortable in her own skin. It's beautiful. And they are so real. It reminds me a lot of the season 2 episode, Be Right Back, which makes sense as it's the same director. The technology takes a back seat to a much more human emotional story. This is a story about two women with very different life experiences who struggle to relate to each other and the choices that they have to make.
What I love about sci-fi generally is that it's a platform for philosophy. Philosophers are constantly creating thought experiments, and that's what sci-fi is. San Junipero reminds me of Nozick's experience machine. If you were told you could live inside a machine where you could have the best possible life, would you take it, knowing it's not real? Nozick concludes that most people choose not to, because what we really value is the truth over happiness. But this is different, though. It's the end of their lives. The choice isn't between reality and fantasy, but nothing and happily ever after. And basically, screw you, Nozick. Who cares if it's artificial or weird? So what? Give me my digital sapphic bliss. Charlie Brooker is not a whingy old man complaining that technology makes us less social. He's showing it brings us together. You could say, too, that it's a good metaphor for how the internet can be a real refuge for people, especially those LGBT people whose real-world lives aren't so welcoming.
Black Mirror is known for its dark tone, so the whole time watching this, I was thinking, oh, now they're going to reveal some horrifically ironic plot twist, aren't they? And they're not going to live happily ever after. What? Wait, they're not dying tragically? They're actually happy? Forever? This is brilliant! This episode is a great standalone for anyone to watch, but for the Black Mirror fan, I think it will be particularly sweet. This is Brooker showing his softer, marshmallowy side, and actually allowing for a happy ending with our heroines riding off into the sunset. There's a joke I've seen a fair few times that all films about women couples end in tragedy and tragic deaths, and why can't we just have some nice happy movies with gay ladies? TV Tropes calls this bury your gays. Well, here we have women dying and they get a happy ending, so hooray! And as one human person who uses the internet pointed out, I can't believe that a cis-het white man surprised us with a complex sci-fi story featuring a multiracial couple with a lesbian and a bisexual without any sort of sexual erasure, and with a happy ending about finding love against all odds that defies space and time. Like, what a fuck you to all the writers who say it is too hard to write good stories with women loving women characters. I am aware that this is not a complex analysis. This is mostly just me fangirling about a thing that made me really happy. But I genuinely love Charlie Brooker's work, especially Black Mirror, and I think this episode is so particularly charming and lovely. I'm a pessimistic philosophy student with a strong vein of nihilism running through me, and also currently single. I generally think the world is an awful place and worry that I'll never connect deeply to anyone. But this hour-long gift is like a flashlight blinking up at me from the bottom of my dark hole in the ground, and a megaphone shouting, "Happiness is real and meaningful human connection is possible." I've said this before, but I really like hopeful television. And if you love 80s nostalgia, then you will love this, and it's so pretty. And I don't know much about the technical side of filmmaking, but my god, are the shots gorgeous. I could get lost in them. And Yorkie's whole personage. Type San Junipero into Tumblr and you'll see that it has made a lot of women very happy. The gay girls have already claimed heaven is a place on earth for themselves, and I'm cool with that. San Junipero is our nation, and that song shall be its anthem. I want resident of San Junipero to become a slang term for women who love women. And I kind of want one of those shirts myself. Thank you for indulging in my squee. Keep the flames in the oven and out of the comment section. Till next time, toodaloo.